Hello and welcome to a tutorial by Skyrock Projects. We are going to show you how to create your own Japanese style pagoda, and it's going to be a simple one today. We're not going to do anything too crazy yet, but let's start by first getting into our tinkerCAD home screen. If you don't know how to get here, ask your teacher. This should be the first thing you see when you sign in. And I'm going to go ahead and click Create New Design. Okay, we wait for that to load. And there we go. So we're going to start off with a simple box. I'm going to drag it in over here. Before I start, let me just get my on-screen keyboard so you can see what I am clicking or pressing. I will tell you in the video as well. It's a bit smaller. Okay, so I'm putting my on-screen keyboard there. You can see if I am pressing Shift or Alt or whatever. So we're going to start with dragging our simple block in. We're going to make it bigger by dragging on the corner. I'm clicking and dragging. And that's a bit too big, so I'll make it a bit smaller, a bit taller, maybe a bit longer, a little bit wider. And I'm going to drag a second box over here. I'm going to make it smaller. I'm holding Shift down so I keep the proportions. And I'm going to lift it up a bit. Let's have it a bit smaller than that. Oh, looks like I dragged the wrong one. This is going to be your window, so whatever kind of window or style window you're comfortable with, you can choose that. Let's see, okay, I like that. And we're going to extend it right through. Now notice I dragged the see-through box over here. That's because we're going to use this box to cut the shape out of the initial one that we placed. But we can't just have a box. Let's see, we're going to need a circle over here. I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees. Click here. I'm going to click on the bending arrow on the top, and notice I'm clicking in Shift. So what Shift does, it will lock it to the closest degree or even degree. I'm going to make this shape a little bit smaller. Let's see what we can do. I'm going to hold down Shift again. No, wrong way. Make it smaller, lift it higher. Drag it across, although that doesn't matter too much. You'll see why in a second, and just extend it. Now I'm going to choose all the shapes by just holding down the left clicker on my mouse and just dragging it over all the shapes. And I'm going to align it to the center by clicking on the line tool over here and aligning it like that. And shazam! So that's the first floor of our pagoda. I actually think I'm going to make the circle a little bit bigger. Maybe a little bit bigger. Let's experiment a little bit. Yeah, that works. I like that. So once we have this part, we're going to need a roof. So I will go to my pyramid, place it on the... Okay, so we're placing our pyramid and we are going to make it bigger. So let's see, it's going to be quite a bit bigger. I'm going to make it touch the corners from an angle, and we're going to raise it up. But we want to make sure that it's still touching. You see we can't have a gap, so I'll drop it down. Still touching everywhere. I'm going to move my circle down a little bit. Now, if you want to move things just fractionally, we can go over here to snap grid, change it to 0.1 millimeters, and use our keys on our keyboard. So I'm using the down key. Let's see, let me bring up the, so like that. Okay, so that looks good to me. And once again, I'm going to select all of the shapes and align them in the center. If you don't know how to align yet, please go to the starters and teach yourself. You can ask your teacher for help. Now, here's the easy part. We're going to select all our shapes and we're going to hold down the Alt button, like that. And we're going to drag a new floor up, make sure it's touching. And we're going to make it slightly smaller by holding down the Shift button. And to ensure that we keep the same proportions, that's why we use the Shift button. And we're going to do that again. We're going to take the shape we just made, hold down the Alt button, and drag it up and make sure it's touching. Go to the top, Shift button, work with one of the corners, and again, I'm going to drag it up, Alt, make it a little bit smaller, and the last one is the Alt button again. There we go, make it a little bit smaller, and we'll select all of them, use our Align tool, and align them to the center, like that. Awesome, but we're not done yet. So, if you look at a pagoda, let's look at images. So it's got this little thing on the top, and we're going to make that by taking another pyramid and making it really tall. So let's zoom in here. If I click on it, I want to take that white little block, drag it up, and I'm going to select all of the shapes again and just center everything once more. That one's a bit tall, so I'm going to make it a bit smaller. Of course, you can make it as tall as you like. I think that works for me. Still a little bit too tall. Yeah, I like the look of that. And we're going to select all our shapes and click over here, group. And once we have it grouped, you can see there is our really simple Japanese pagoda. Okay. There we go. So you can see we made some mistakes here. I'm going to correct them. So you got to ensure that the circle doesn't cut too much away from the roof. I can just ungroup. I can select all the shapes over there. And I'm just going to raise it up a little bit. Let me just deselect the roof. There we go. Raise it up a little bit, just so that it's just touching. Same for the second one. And I think we're ready to regroup it again. Okay, let's have a look. Maybe these two could tidy up a bit. That looks much better. So let's see. Let's group it, and I think it looks good. Of course, you can add anything you like now, but here we have it. Let's rename it our really simple and easy to make Pagoda. And that's all for the video today. And yeah, I hope you have a good day and good luck 3D printing your project.